Prof Professionally, I am also in the public health sector. I'm currently working with the Ministry of Health in Malawi as an environmental health officer. So my work pretty much is on disease control, surveillance, and response. So that's my background. So this evening, I'm just going to give you some key insights on some of the things that you're required to include in your essays so that you can be in a position to have very good ones. And as a disclaimer, everything that is going to be talked and shared during this call is absolutely based on my own opinions and experience, and it doesn't have any affiliation with the US Department of State, IREX, or any other agencies that are involved in the recruitment process for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So yes, and also as I mentioned, the talk will be mostly about how we can come up with good essays from a reader's perspective. And we're not going into the eligibility criteria because by now I assume that all of us on the call have already gone through the eligibility criteria and how we can do the application process, but the focus will be on the essays particularly. So yeah. So first and foremost, what you need to understand is the essays that you're going to write, they are based on your personal story. So take it as you're telling a story to someone who doesn't know you, but you'd want them to understand who you are. So this is an opportunity, and don't leave any room for guesses because the person that would be reading these essays wouldn't have an idea of who you are. So I've broken down some of the tips based on the essay numbers, as well as the areas that you need to put in this information. So the first one on essay number 1, 2, 3, as well as the resume, I understand that you're not supposed to upload your resume, but you still have that section where you're filling in your professional experience, whether it's voluntary or paid work. So in this area, what they need to see from you is how you have that interest in your professional work and how that aligns to the track that you have selected. There are 3 tracks, by the way. I know that maybe you know them, but I can just repeat them. The business track, civic engagement, as well as the public management track. So whatever that you're going to write in these 3 essays plus your resume should have concrete goals for applying knowledge and skills gained from the fellowship, and also that how you can add that to your current and future work. So how the Mandela Washington Fellowship works is like they're going to build your skills, whether it's leadership, networking, or even specific to your field. So they would like to see how after you gain these skills, you're going to apply them in your life and in your work. And also, you're required to give a detailed description of your major accomplishments. So on these accomplishments, we need to be very careful because accomplishments can be in two ways. Two ways. It can be something that is so personal. It can be something that brought impact to a certain population that you work for or you work with. For me, I would prefer that you look into how you can blend your personal accomplishment and how you have utilized that towards achieving a certain goal that helps a certain community or a certain population. So in this, you need to explain why you chose your field of work. Like, where does your passion come from? If it's about helping people in the education sector, as regarding to improving their literacy, you need to make sure that it comes out clearly. And also you need to provide a detailed description of your goals and participating in the fellowship, just like I mentioned in the first point. And also state your motivation to work in the selected track, the knowledge and skills you hope to gain in the track, and how the fellowship would enhance your professional endeavors. So the fellowship, it can enhance your skills at a personal level or as something that you can bring back to your country. So that's something that you also need to bring out clearly on that one. Sorry, just give me a second. Jerry? And as I mentioned, that the accomplishment shouldn't be more personalized. For example, if in the past year you attend a certain qualification, yes, it's a great accomplishment. But then, how have you used that to bring some positive change in your community? So that's why I was saying that you can try how best you can blend that personal accomplishment to show an impact in the area that you've worked in. You can go to the next slide. The other component is specifically for essay number 1 and essay number 5. So just to talk a little bit, a few things, you notice that some of the essays, they might look like they are a little bit similar, requiring you to provide the same responses. What you need to do is you need to be very clever enough, because from the previous essays that I had read, there were some other applicants that would just copy and paste the same response on the essay questions that were looking to be similar. So you don't need to do that. So what you need to do, especially on number 1, because they would require to see a leadership ability in you. So you need to provide that record of leadership and accomplishment related to your preferred track. And also, don't try to lie. Be authentic, be original with your work. Because if you lie, I don't know how it goes, but sometimes when you read something that is not coming, it's something that is not true, it's able to be detected. So you need to be as true as much as you can. So as I mentioned, also provide detailed information about previous leadership or accomplishments. And also on this one, because on the resume part, you'll be required also to fill in some of the professional work that you've done. Don't repeat them. Here, bring something that is new, that is in line with your work. And also, you need to demonstrate your outstanding leadership capacity. So how have you overcome adversity? Can be also how you have managed to work effectively with teams, and also how you easily adapt to changing circumstances. Because as part of your fellowship, you'll be required, if not most of the time, all of the times, you'll be required to work in teams, and also how you can adapt to things that are changing. Yeah. So if you bring that along, they would know that this is the perfect fit for our fellowship. And also you need to clearly demonstrate your ability to learn from successes and failures and incorporate that learning into future efforts. So one thing that most of us usually run away from is talking about our failures. Would be proud about talking about successes, but then on the failures, we are mostly silent on that. But somehow, some of the failures that we encounter in life, they give us a lesson or two. And if you're someone who is able to switch positively from a failure to bring in something that would be desired outcome, you can bring that forward. For example, maybe if you were running a certain project and then it failed along the way, what is it that you learned from that? And moving forward, how did you make sure that should not happen again? And how did that influence you to encounter or achieve a certain goal at the end of the day based on the failure that you had once encountered at some point? Yeah, you can go to the next slide. Yes. And also the other component that they would require you to talk about is about your community service as well as volunteerism. So for Nigerians, take note that the National Youth Service Corps that you have for the 1 year, it doesn't count as a voluntary service, because it's something that I understand that it's mandatory for you guys. So they don't consider that. So if you talk about something that you've done during your NYSC, that will automatically take marks away from you. But then you should come up with something that you personally, or even with a certain group of people in your community, did to address a particular problem that was in the community. And also, you also need to clearly describe how the knowledge and skills that you gain will impact your community. Because the skills, they are not only supposed to boost you as a person, but they need to influence some of the things that you do back in your community, and also going back to the whole country and Africa at large. And also, you should provide detailed information about the communities that you strive to engage through work and articulate steps to pursue this goal. I think they said there is a certain question that is asking about what steps do you take regularly to ensure inclusion and diversity, blah blah blah. And also there is something about some of the greatest needs in your community and how your public and community service has addressed this. So this is where now you come in and to talk about how you feel like these skills would help you to address those needs that are in your community, or how have you already addressed those needs in that line. You can go to the next slide. And also the other thing that you be assessed on is the commitment that you have to going back to your country after the fellowship. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you need to show commitment on you returning to your country. This is also based on some of the sentiments that you would include in your essays. Because if you don't say anything about how the skills that you're going to gain from the fellowship will have influence on your community and building your communities better, it might give a picture like you don't want to utilize the skills after the fellowship, or maybe you don't even want to go back to your country after the fellowship. So as you may know that after the fellowship, you're required to go back to your country and at least stay there for two years before you think about going back to the US or anywhere you may think of going to. So if you state this, it would also give you a plus. And also you need to persuade the reader. Persuade the reader in a way that you show that the skills that you're going to gain will not only end there, but then what strategies are you thinking, or what interventions would you want to impact your community? So I'll give an example here. For example, maybe there's something that you're interested in Tanzania that you'd like to learn from. So considering that this fellowship would also grow your network within sub-Saharan Africa, how can you leverage on this particular chance to make these networks and something that you can tap from after the fellowship? And also how you can work together with the other people to bring the desired change so that it can benefit your community. And I think I already talked about outlining your future goals in the previous insights and how you can address those challenges, and also effectively describe how the fellowship might assist in achieving those goals. So you need to clearly state, don't just say that because I'll attend, but by participating in this fellowship, I'll be able to achieve these goals. But then how? The how part is that's something that needs to come out clear on that. Okay, so the other one is on the diversity, which is essay number 4. So on the diversity, this is also one of the key areas that they take seriously, considering that there are people from different backgrounds that attend the fellowship, and also that you'll be required to work with even people in the US that are from diverse groups. So you need to show, it can be maybe through the voluntary work that you did, or even through your professional work. How do you make sure that the communities that you're working with, there is that inclusion of everyone, whether you include youth, women, all of them together, bring it along. And also, how do you make sure that there is equity, not to exclude anyone based on their features or their social influence or religion, race, in those lines. And also, where possible, you need to give concrete examples showing that you have indeed worked with people with different backgrounds. And how have you used that experience? And how have you used your leadership skills to resolve conflicts if there are any? Considering that where there are people from different backgrounds, there would be conflicts that would come, and that is inevitable. And also, you need to demonstrate that you're able to come up with relevant and innovative methods that would help you to address particular challenges. So that also needs to come out very clear. Yes. So overall, you need to know that the fellowship mostly is all about leadership and networking. So as I've mentioned, make sure that these also come out clearly. How do you plan to use the networks that you build from the fellowship to influence something in your community? And also, I know that sometimes maybe you might find it hard to communicate effectively in English. Try as much as possible to make sure that your essays are readable and the English is very clear. Don't use complex English. As much as possible, try to make it simple and straight to the point, because you understand that the word limit is very little. I think the maximum is 250 for only 2 essays, but for the rest is 150. So if you try to move around a point, you end up using a lot of words without hitting the nail on the head. So try to be simple as much as possible and straight to the point. And also, try as much as you can to avoid spelling errors, grammar, as well as punctuation errors. Because if you have these errors, it might somehow distort the meaning of your essays. You would think like it's okay, but then to the reader, it would mean another thing, making it hard for them to understand what you're trying to communicate. And also, as I mentioned, to make good use of the words, do not repeat word for word what you have already included in the resume section. For example, if I've indicated that I work with the Ministry of Health as an environmental health officer, and then I advocate for preventive health care, when I'm making the responses, that has already been stated. But then, what is it that I have done in that particular position? And lastly, you need to edit, and edit. If possible, especially on the grammar part, if you can try to use Grammarly, and also I know there are some other tools that can help you to check some writing errors, you can use that. But then don't use AI. Don't use AI, because the AI can give you those good essays, but now the originality would be lacking in it. So on your story, it's your story. Don't try to fake it. And lastly, in closing, I came up with just 2 examples of essays. They are not like the ones that I used, but I thought that it would give an example and an idea of how you can craft your essay. So I'll just read it and try to explain a bit of it. So as a public health worker, following the COVID-19 pandemic, I realized the importance of the One Health concept as a way of dealing with emerging issues. To this effect, in 2023, I enrolled in a short course on fundamentals on One Health to boost my knowledge, my skills and knowledge. I have utilized this knowledge to enhance multi-sectoral collaboration and stakeholder engagements to effectively manage merging issues of public health concern. I have also used these skills to train 500 frontline workers from different departments to ensure they are involved in such occurrences. This has contributed to a vigilant surveillance system, and this has been manifested in the Mpox outbreak, where communities are empowered enough to report suspects to relevant officials. As a constant learner, I look forward to strengthen my technical skills to ably lead teams to create solutions for health challenges. As such, participating in the Mandela Washington Fellowship will be a stepping stone for me, as I will have a wider network where I can continue to learn and share with like-minded public health enthusiasts. So as you can see here, I've managed to just state about my position and a problem that propelled me to have something in mind. So if you recall that you're required to show where you're having the motivation for your work, yeah? So following the COVID-19 pandemic, I was able to link why the One Health approach is very important in trying to deal with emergencies and everything. So what then did I do? I enrolled in a short course, and now that's why I was saying that it's good to have those accomplishments in terms of certifications, but then how do you use that particular certification or the knowledge that you gain from there? So that's why now it's following that. I have utilized this knowledge to enhance this and that. And then of important, you need also to indicate that it's not ending there. you're willing to learn more beyond what you have already learned. So now specify that by participating in the Mandela Washington Fellowship, I'll be able to learn further in this area, which will help me to also add more value to my work. So with that, it's 177 words, which is below the 250 words. If you want, you can even add something that you feel like can bring more value to it. So that's the first demo essay. The last one is regarding community service or volunteerism per se. Something that is not in line with professional work, but trying to bring a certain desired outcome in the community. So it reads, in 2023, I received a report that there was an increase in absenteeism among girls at one of the primary schools in my community. This was attributed to lack of sanitary wear and facilities during their menstrual days. As such, they lacked confidence and opted to be home. Following this, I mobilized the mother group for the school so that we work together with the girls at the school on the production of reusable sanitary wear, since majority could not manage to purchase the disposable ones. Together with the mother groups, startup resources were mobilized and 100 girls were trained and 10 were identified as ambassadors to continue training their fellows both in schools and out of schools. Following this initiative, in the subsequent terms, absenteeism during menstrual days dropped by, so you can quantify also by a certain percentage. Not only did this improve the confidence of the girls, but it also boosted their grades. So one thing that I also need to mention is the importance of using figures in your essays to quantify the impact, so that the reader that is going through the essays should be able to know that okay, because of this, there was this particular challenge, and then there was this particular initiative that was employed, and then at the end of it all, this was the outcome that was realized at the end of it all. So those were not, they were just demos. As I mentioned, that they were just something that I just tried to come up with something. It's not that it's something that I have done, but I thought it would try to give some context to it. So I think this is the last slide, is it? If we have any other questions, we may post them in the chat. We'll be able to respond them, or maybe also Martins can help us to moderate some of the Q&A. Otherwise, thank you so much. That's the end from my side.
Wow, 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 interesting. Please, can we just please react to the react button, and please everyone, a round of applause for Madam Vera, who is juggling a lot of things at the same time, all the way from Malawi to bring you this amazing review session of what the Mandela Washington Fellowship is all about. Thank you very much, Vera. That was amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have love. Balloons. I can't find balloons in this. I had that was still yeah. Okay, guys. We have about 19 more minutes for this session. We don't want it to be a very long session. We just want to get quick feedback. Those of you who joined us from the very beginning, do you have any questions? Those of you who joined at the end, do you have any questions? So we can get straight into it. Any questions, please just use the raise hand button, right? Raise hand button quickly. Any questions? Ogechi Cecilia. Hi, Vera. Ogechi Cecilia is asking us if we are going to review essays. We are not reviewing essays on this call, right? We do not have plans to review essays. We just want you to know what you should look out for and how better to answer the question, right? Vera, do you want to say something to that?
Okay, yes, you have said it all. We're not reviewing, considering the time. We don't want to promise something that we may end up not doing. Yeah. So, no.
It's 5 days to the close of the application. What you can do from this session is to go back into your essay and see how you actually answered the question. So we have another question, Vera. The question says, how important is your LinkedIn profile? How important is your LinkedIn profile in the application?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. For the application, I don't think it's any important. But then if you happen to be upgraded, maybe for example to the interview stage, they may do some random checks, just random, not that they will check profiles for everyone. No. So it doesn't have any impact really on your application. What matters is how you craft your essays and the resume. And the grading from the reader's perspective, it's mostly based on the information that you provide in your resume part, as well as in the essays. Nothing about the LinkedIn profile. So don't assume that the reader will go to check the work that you've been doing on LinkedIn. No.
All right. Fantastic. So, like you just heard, the next question says, can I use one example for the whole essay?
Based on the words that you have, I think one example would be enough. But if you feel like you're able to use the brevity concept enough, you can use more than one. But then just be mindful of the word limit. And also, if you want to use more than one essay, one example, just make sure that you'll be able to provide all the required details in all those two examples, not just mentioning them, but then it should be detailed. That's how I can respond to that.
Thank you very much. Just to add a voice there. So be conscious and be mindful of the word limits and provide the most relevant example that you think communicates what you want to communicate. Oluwa Folakemi is asking, if I fit into 2 institute tracks of study, how do I pick the best fit for me? How do I pick the best track there?
Okay, all right, fine. So for the tracks, I think you have the opportunity to select all the 3, but now you need to rank them according to your priority. So if you're feeding, like in my case, I also had a confusion between the public management and the civic engagement. So what you need to do, you need to understand fully what is involved in each track. I think in the application package or the information package on the website, you can find information about each particular track. So just understand those track and see which one of the 2 would come first. And then the other one would be like a second option, and then maybe the last one would be third. So more likely, they would first prioritize you for the first option, for the first track that you pick. And maybe if it happens that there were a lot of people on the first track, but then you still feel like you still fit to the second track, they would still pick you. I remember in our time, there was a certain person that had civic engagement as the first option, business track on the second option, but then was picked for the business track. So just make sure that you rank them accordingly. And they should talk to the experience that you have.
All right, that's a
Yeah,
very
thank you.
So I was going to additionally just amplify what you just said. The track that you pick should connect very much to the experience that you have, your achievements, your accomplishments, your goals. Which track fits these things best? And then how do you rank this track in order of preference, right? Like Vera just mentioned. The next question says, what's the next question? Is there any other question? Okay, so should each question answered? Okay, I think Lucas is trying to ask, should each question be answered with 1 paragraph? That's what Lucas is trying to ask. Vera?
Oh, no, it cannot be answered in 1 paragraph. If you feel like you can organize your answer maybe in 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, feel free to do that. What matters is the maximum word limit. So I think you're basing it on the example that I shared. I just did that to make sure that it all fits to a slide. But you can break them in 2 paragraphs. It's okay. There's no penalty for that.
All right. So the next question says, how do we How do they score for each question in terms of marks?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I can't remember vividly about the marks, but I think the maximum should be out of 5 points, something like that. But I'm not sure on that. I've forgotten, honestly. I've forgotten.
Okay, so just Lucas, put your attention and energy not on how it will be scored, but on giving it the best answer or response that fits the question or the prompt for each of the essays that you are giving. David is asking, how can we reach you for further mentorship even after the scholarship? David, I think are you talking about reaching out to Vera, or reaching out to us as Global Wings? What exactly is your direct question, David? It's not pretty clear to me. Okay, I don't know. Maybe David, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm going to respond to Esther's question. For Global Wings, we have an email. I will drop it in the chat box. You could, yes, you could reach out to the ULEAD email, or admin team would respond to you depending on what your query is. That's the email. All right, David. So I think the other question says, I heard the facilitator saying we need to come back to our home country and work for 2 years. I'm a prospective PhD student to the US. I hope to apply for the fall of 2025. Do you think I'm a good fit for the fellowship? Since after the fellowship, I would love to stay back in the US and start my PhD program. Vera, you want to respond to that?
Okay, yes, sure. I think for the academic part, there is a waiver that is provided. But then your situation is kind of tricky because it's like you go there for the fellowship and then you stay back to continue with your PhD. But it's required that after the fellowship, you still go back to your country. You still go back. That is the requirement for the fellowship. Unless maybe there is some special arrangement, because I'm looking at the visa that you go with for the fellowship. It's a J1 visa.
J1
And
visa.
for the, yes, and for your studies, it would absolutely be a different visa altogether. So I don't know how that can be framed, or how can that be considered, but maybe the guys from the embassy would be in a position to advise on that. But you can, with a J1 visa, you cannot continue to stay and continue pursuing your PhD. But from my cohorts, I've seen people going back even less than the 2 years required if they have other opportunities to pursue further their education. But then the required component is go back to your country after the fellowship.
Okay, thank you. I hope that answers your question, Esther. I think the next question says, does academic merit really count in the selection process? We are wrapping up our questions now, guys. If you have any questions, this is the moment. We are closing in 9 minutes. So, does academic merit count in the selection process? Vera?
All right. On the academic merit, does it mean the quality of your academic qualification, or what exactly?
I think
Let me
the person
understand.
means your grade.
Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't count. What they look at is the influence that you have. That's what they look at mostly. So it doesn't really count.
Can you specify influence? What do you mean by influence?
Okay. On the influence, I was talking about, okay, I can say, maybe let me say impact. The impact that you have had in your community. What we're talking about, like how have you served your community? How have you volunteered? How have you made sure that there's what? There is that change, positive change based on your actions. So that's what really matters for them.
Okay, thank you very much. So, impact to society, measurable impact. This recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. It will be private, but we'll share the link to those of you on the Global Wins community. So if you got this link on the Global Wins community, be rest assured you'll get a link that will take you to our YouTube channel, right, to the recording for this session. Thank you very much, Vera. It was amazing having you on this call. I know it was on such very short notice. Do we have any more questions? Can we all just put our hands together for Vera? Vera, round of applause. Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe I've seen someone asking whether we can be in touch or not. I'll post my
LinkedIn, yeah.
news account on LinkedIn, so we
Yeah.
can take it from there. If you have any other questions, we can arrange for calls, but I'm not reviewing any essays. Yes.
Thank you. All right. Oh, we have one question from Abubakar. Are winners allowed to come along with their spouse?
That's a special arrangement that you can make. So, like the program would not be responsible for anything regarding their travel. So if you feel like then you need to go through the whole process of applying for their visa or the requirements. But then to the institute that you'll be going to, they'll only provide for accommodation, food only for you, no any other dependent, whether it's a kid or a spouse.
I hope that responds to your question. So for those of you who still have more questions, I would suggest that you check out the website, and you have 5 days to put in a strong application. If you already have not done anything, this is the best weekend to start. Sit on your laptop or sit on your notepad or whatever you use, and then work out your application. Send any questions you have to Vera. She is on LinkedIn, Vera Malidi. So she will basically respond to your question on LinkedIn. Thank you all so much for joining in tonight. I would stop the recording and leave the music playing, right? And was exciting being your host again tonight.
All right, thank you so much, and thank you so much.